Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
Because 90% of them are wrong. They're fucking wrong.
Max Taman.
You've got a plate of shit and you've got a bowl of shit. They're the same thing.
Scott Hartley.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah.
John Taman.
What the hell was I talking about?
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And now, the world's worst podcast host, John Taman.
Hey, everybody. I'm really starting to kind of get used to this being the world's worst podcast host business. I can't even say it, the world's worst podcast host, and that's probably why I am the world's worst podcast host. I'm John Taman. It's Friday evening. It's, I wouldn't say late March, but it's March Madness going on right now. Everybody's got their eyes on something else, like this. But, hey, man, we're going to come in here and do a podcast because Jesse said yesterday, who feels like doing a podcast? And we all said, yeah, okay, because we got nothing to do. Scott, what about you? You got something to do? You do. Yeah. I got to say, hold on a second. We've got to give you your propers. I said his name, but before we do that, my good friend over here from southeastern Virginia, Jesse Martin. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the founder of the podcast, coming to you live right here from southeastern Virginia, where he has just given birth to a. Oh wait, here we go again. He's back again. Sorry, I had the boot on. There you go. So you've just gotten home from work, have you?
Yeah, well, it's fucking interstate traffic, man. Crashes, and Friday people fucking just drive like shits. So.
Yeah. Well, I know where you live. Fucking hey, man. People can't drive down there for shit. And there's only about 30 million of them crammed into, all trying to get through one tunnel and over a couple of bridges while a bunch of other guys are working on them. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel for you. We're experimenting with this 5 o'clock slot, so we're going to see how that works. Let's see here. Who else have we got down here? Of course, like I said, we've got the International Fan of the Year, Scott Hartley. Now, look, I don't want to hear anything about it. Your town. I always say, Scott Hartley live from Barrow and Furnace, UK, but now... Mm-hmm. The king has come to your town. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yeah, the king is due. It hasn't came to the town, but the prime minister has decreed that the king has given royal status to the town, and we are now known as the Royal Port of Barrow.
The International Fan of the Year has power. I'm telling you right now. This place used to be named after somebody's goddamn furnace. A furnace in a hole. Barrow and Furnace. No, it was in Furness. But now, it is the Royal Port because of one Scott Hartley. I applaud you, sir.
Thank
Way
you.
to go.
Thank you. My mail will have to change, as will my mail address, and nobody really knows what to do at the moment. It's a bit like... Nah.
Wait, no, you now see we're American. We don't understand certain things about how it is over there. But you've just become a nobleman. Am I wrong? You're International Fan of the Year. You now have servants to do this shit for you. Am I right?
Yeah. Jeeves, bring me another Red Bull.
Thanks, Jeeves. Go. All right. Speaking of servants, how you doing down there, Max?
You busted Scott's ribs up.
Yeah.
It's a Friday. It's a nice Friday. So some spring cleaning got done this afternoon. We're doing well.
Nice.
It's not a nice Friday. It's fucking cold out there. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Grow up. Come on now.
Grow up.
Look, Mr. Thin Skin because I'm old,
That's right. I would go to Florida, except those people are stupid.
Do you have your heated slippers on right now?
Dude, I have a bag that's got an electric cord that comes out of it that my wife gave me for Christmas that, I can turn it on hot and, just sit here and toast my feet in it. It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
I got a heating pad, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's only because when you go on your period. Now, speaking of going on your period,
That's true.
I was on Deuce's show a couple weeks ago, and we discussed soy milk. Now, did you know this? Soy milk will make you gay. Did you know that? Maybe it's
Yeah, Scott.
maybe it's not quite that cut and dried.
What are you trying to say, Jesse? That I have oat milk and soy milk in my tea? No, I don't.
As someone who can't
we
drink
didn't-
regular
we didn't
milk,
catch you
don't
at
be
a gay
don't be
bar.
hating on oat milk right now. All right. I have oat ice cream in the fridge right now, so
What is that shit for horses?
Fuck.
I can't do regular ice cream.
Right.
I'll be-
Almond, oat, soy, fucking quit
Hey,
being
hey.
pussies and drink some fucking milk.
Exactly.
Here's the problem. I will stink someone else out of this room, and that's
Yeah.
the problem.
That's the absolute-
intolerant. Oh.
Well, it's not that I'm so much intolerant. It's just what happens is you become very intolerant rather quickly.
Yeah, I know. I get you.
From where he is sitting, the bathroom is about 15 feet away from him. It got to be so bad when I was a teenager.
Yeah, well, I didn't make you drink the damn stuff. I know about it, but that's what it does to me. So, and I'm sure that's what you all tuned in to talk about. Am I right?
Yeah, Max and John's bowel movements. Yeah.
Well,
it's,
I mean-
well, it's better than mine. We did an hour's episode in the summer.
We're gonna. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say, Scott is going to Wisconsin, the dairy capital of America, the frickin' the cheese capital of the world. When you get off the plane, Scott, they hit you in the nose with a clothespin and make you go ah, and when they do, they shove a wedge of cheddar right in your mouth. Say, "Welcome to Wisconsin."
Now, Scott,
We're
I
gonna
work
have
with
a
someone-
journal.
I work with someone from Wisconsin. I'm going to get the top 5 foods you have to try.
Oh yeah,
cheese
And-
curds, apparently.
Well, those
Fried,
slap
they're like
anyway.
fried cheese balls.
Yes.
So
Those are good. You can get those here, but
poutine.
that too.
it's just chips, cheese, and gravy in it.
That's what it is.
French fries,
but it's
but yes.
poutine. It's a nice
chips.
sounding French word, poutine for French
Scott,
fries
you're
and
outnumbered
gravy
here.
and,
It's
and
French
cheese.
fries.
It's whatever the hell I had in the fridge.
We won the
Call
war.
it poutine. All right, so we're gonna have
Oh,
Scott.
really?
Come,
Oh,
when
really?
Scott comes back.
Hold on a minute. Oh dear. Anyway, right.
So when Scott comes back, we're gonna have a journal here to see how the young fella does there. I mean, it's gonna be like day one,
I'm not having a poo. I'm not having a poo.
3,
I'm not having a poo.
4.
I'm not having a poo.
Oh, well, so you get the.
We're going to have a timer up in the middle, just how long it's going to be
Yes.
until Scott can have a poo.
We'll have a countdown clock in the bottom of the screen here.
Apparently, I've got 5 hours to kill in Atlanta. So yeah, that might be the way. That might be the way.
No. Don't go doing that in any airport bathrooms in America.
No.
No, you find yourself in a situation you might not like. And then you're on camera. All right, so did we have any Commanders news this week worth talking about?
Signed a few players, didn't we?
Yeah,
So-
we haven't stopped yet. It's been just a slow trickle. Small
So I'm having a look here this week. This week's signings were Nate Herbig.
we like that one.
Yeah, it's not too
And from
bad.
the Steelers.
Jacob Martin signed a 1-year deal as well, and Foster Sarrell, the offensive tackle from the Chargers, joined. And then the retained ones who signed this week, we had Jeremy McNichols, Noah Brown, Trent Scott, Michael Dieter, Cleveland Farrell, Jalen Holmes, Sheldon Dane, Nick Ballore, and Noah I.
Nick Ballore was a really good.
2 years
one.
ago.
Was it a 2-year deal for Nick Ballore, was it?
I think so. I think so.
That's good. That's good.
That's weird considering how old
How old he is, yeah. I was
but
thinking the
it's-
same, yeah.
it's
Well, being that he
production.
just plays special teams.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but Jesse, when your job is to run full speed for 15 yards and then just
That's what I'm
crack some
saying.
heads, like that.
If that's all you got to
and,
do.
and I'm sure the deal is it's 2 years, but they can get out of it after one. I'm sure it's probably something like
But
that.
the bit that got me this week was the Dante Fowler deal at the Cowboys. I don't know if you boys heard that, but
we talked
8
about it
mil-
last week.
Yeah, we did, but $8 million to the Cowboys. But I didn't realise this, but this is the first time since 2015 that the Cowboys have committed more than $6 million to a free agent outside of their roster.
Wow.
The first time in 10 years.
Listen, it's my money.
So much for all in. So much for all in.
It's my money, and if I tell them I'm all in, they're going to goddamn well believe it. That's the way it goes around here. And I'm all in. I'm 83 goddamn years old. I'm all in a diaper is what I'm in. So I tell you what, I like this signing. I'm interested. This guy, the tackle we picked up from
The Chargers? Or...
Yeah, he's
Big boy.
like 26 years old, right? He's not an old man.
No.
So
wondering if
is
they'll
he a
kinda
player?
No, he's not going to be a starter. But we now that Luke's is gone, we need a
Swing tackle?
and he could be in line for that.
My camera's crooked. I feel like a Batman villain.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond.
Right. That's right. I'm going to leave it that way. I like that. I like the signing of the guard from Pittsburgh. Jesse, you got him starting, don't you? You got him on our starting five, right?
Right guard for me. Yeah, that's where I've got him starting.
Bumping Allegretti back.
I got him. Well, I got him at Tunzel at left tackle, Herberg at left guard. Obviously, Biotish. Then you got Wiley. Then you got Coleman.
So you're going straight out for Coleman at right tackle then, whereas
I think
I'm
that's-
putting.
yeah.
I think Coleman at left guard.
Has Coleman
I
ever
really
played
do.
right tackle?
Yes. He did
he's
at
played-
college.
He's played pretty
He
much
did, yeah.
everywhere except for center.
I don't know what the transition is like, whether you go tackle to tackle. I mean, as you said, the
I mean, it's
footwork
not
is
for
is there.
everybody. But I think with how athletic Coleman is, he should be able to do it. I think that should be the first thing they should try at least.
They should try it, but do you not think he would be better suited as a left guard if that's the case? And then you know for sure you've locked up that left side, and he can probably reach a higher ceiling than he would do if he was just a straight tackle. And you maybe pick a tackle up out of the draft.
We moan about Wiley almost
We do.
on a daily basis.
We do.
I
Not
think
last year.
The number one, of course we did. Yeah.
Well,
him and
not on
Allegretti
a daily
were the-
basis. He played. I thought last year we all kind of came to the conclusion at the end of the season that he played much better than he had played the year before.
Him
that's
and,
not
him
saying
and
a lot.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
saying
it-
a lot.
well,
Him and
much
Allegretti
better.
were the weak links on that offensive line. And
Okay.
It's by far. I don't want Allegretti on the offensive line anymore. I think he's better suited as a backup. And I think Wiley has always played better inside. So put him back at guard.
So, I mean, looking at this then, the Bunker podcast, Andy Burrows has just joined us. So when we're speaking about royalty,
Oi.
there's someone. Oi. But yeah, I mean, the other side there, I think you can think about with offensive line depth now is signing people back like Trent Scott. Didn't do too bad a job at right guard, but also there's a swing tackle potential there for him as well. So it's building that line up, but I still think we do draft someone at a tackle, or if it's a top level guard, do you draft a top level guard? Because ultimately,
Depending on
Cosby's
where-
going to take a while to come back.
I think Deluxe has a good point. Make sure he fails a tackle before you move him into guard. He's shown enough
True,
after a year
yeah.
play where he missed most of the offseason. Right. I think we brought that up last year, was that the first time he was going to see anybody was going to be in live bullets, man. And
I mean, Coleman,
we saw them platoon him.
very well might not work out at right tackle. The transition might be a little bit too much, and that's fine. But I think that's the first fucking place you need to put him. If not at left tackle, go to right tackle.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's completely different, Scott. It's a completely different set of footwork, and it's also completely
Yeah,
different
I
on
get
how you
that.
handle your weight and your balance. I'm looking at the bunker. Andy telling us he's about as
It's not
royal as a fart
necessarily
at a funeral.
different.
And that's about right. But we know who the
It's
royalty
just
is now.
opposite.
Scott
you
got
know?
the name of his town changed, Andy. The King's coming.
So one of the biggest things you always hear about O-line is your left tackle is your best pass blocker, your right tackle is your best run blocker. So, I mean, and if you look at the Eagles as that blueprint, look at Mailata and look at Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends really if your quarterback's right-handed or left-handed, and since most of them are right-handed, that's
Right.
the rule.
And if it's a left-handed quarterback, flip the tackles.
Yeah, I
flip
got
the
you.
rules.
That's
What
why I'm
about
so-
what do you think about the rule changes, John, this week that will come out?
have they voted on any of them?
No, they're all just
No.
proposals so far.
All right.
No.
I think that the Packers are a bunch of pussies. Look, you know what? I really do. I think that what they should do is they should make sure. I can't get rid of that. Jessica, where's that damn thing at?
I mean, I think the Packers are right to try to ban the tush push.
I don't think
Agreed.
so.
Yeah, but the way that they worded it, it's going to make it not go through.
I mean, I think that Yeah, just the push of the tush, really, because that didn't used to be legal. You couldn't used to help advance the runner like that.
I thought
you shouldn't be able
I thought they worded it quite well, Max. I'm reading
Yeah,
it here, and
me
it
too.
says to prohibit an offensive player from pushing a teammate who is lined up directly behind the snapper and receives the snap immediately at the snap.
Right, but first off, that's a double on. That's a
What wasn't there more?
No, that
the
was
reasoning
other-
for it is where I have where they had the reasoning. I'm trying to find it right now.
The reasoning is that they can't stop it. I mean, really.
I mean, look, there's multiple things wrong with that play, and they don't call the illegal formations.
because they get set too fast.
It's you take it in. We've seen the Eagles not only do it on fourth down, but they do it on third down, and if they don't make it, they do it again on fourth down. It's not a football play.
I disagree.
It's not a football play.
I think if you look at football when it
play.
started, it was a football play. That was most of what the plays looked like. And I think that there's nothing wrong with having a contest of strength. See, this is where I come from. If you're going to let them push on the ass, all right, if you're going to let them push, then you got to let the defense push. But you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have the linebacker come smushing up on the fucking tackles and push, or the safety. You're not allowed to do that. The defense all has to act on their own. So if you're going to make it even, then fine. Make it a contest of strength. Turn it into a scrum. See what happens. But if you're going to turn it into a scrum and the Eagles have the ball, I say you put the ball on the ground in the middle like they do in the scrum. And everybody has to fucking try.
Yeah, proper scrummaging. Love it.
We start off with a fumble and go from there. Right?
hold on, Burrows. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure. What do you think of the other ones? Was that because I saw you tweeting this week?
The
John,
Lions, I
the
love
Lions
that proposal.
one.
That
Yes,
one I like.
Agreed.
That one I like. Look, it's because and some people that chatted with me about it had some good points. The illegal contact and defensive holding being a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. I don't really agree that they pulled the defensive holding into that because defensive holding is defensive holding, and some people that were talking to me said that what you're going to get is if you stop doing that, the people once somebody gets past 5 yards, they're just going to grab them, right? If it's just a 5-yard penalty, you're going to catch for 7 yards.
Well,
No, you're not.
I
I'm
think
just going to grab
You're
you.
going to see with that is if they do that and for a year, then it'll become a spot foul.
Okay, but my thing is it's the illegal contact, all right? That's the part that I can't stand because we've seen it. It happens to us. It happens in games that don't affect us, that affect the whole league, though, in which at the end of the game on a third down, on a fucking 3rd and 12 or whatever, and on the other side of the field, some guy goes, boop, boop, on somebody's shoulder, and illegal contact, automatic first down, and it's like, I don't like it when people say the NFL's rigged. I think they're idiots when they say the NFL's rigged. But you want to make me think that there's refs that have something on the game? That's a foul that you could fucking make a case for it. They can really cause a lot of trouble with that. Oh, it looks like they got the quarterback up. Illegal contact, first down.
I also like the other Lions proposal. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but it's going to eliminate the division winners being the top 4.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that.
I mean, I like that just because if you have, you shouldn't be
needs to be
penalized if
reseeded.
you have. I mean, just from the get
I
go.
mean, it's seeding.
No, it's not. It's seeding. So it's said that. So what they've
The
asked
Vikings
for
would
was
have been the 2 seed under that current.
yeah. So it
All right,
says
so-
to exclude. Hang on, to amend the current playoff seeding format to allow wildcard teams to be seeded higher than divisional champions in the wildcard if the wildcard team has a better regular season record. I don't disagree with that. If you've got a better regular season record, why should you get an automatic home game because you're in a shit division?
I mean,
It's
I
not
can
our
agree
fault.
with that.
when the thing about that argument's going to come from when the Seahawks beat the Saints when there was a 4-game difference, and that was 15 years ago. But the Seahawks won that game.
I think that's not a bad idea. It's once the season ends, it's the postseason. Everything's new again, right?
Yeah.
And your seeding, really, it determines who your opponent is, but your seeding should be based at that point on your final record. The guys who get in, how you get in is the 4 division winners and then your wild cards.
Win your
but then once
division.
that happens, everybody should. I agree with that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's good that they're not saying that basically they're not giving a playoff spot to the divisional winners, but just that wildcard teams potentially should be higher with a better record. And I don't disagree with that, because why should they have the luxury of a home game? Like if you're the Bucks, for example, who would be in a terrible division, or the Saints, a few years ago, terrible
a couple
division.
Years ago with a losing record going in.
Exactly. Well, we did it against the
had a home
Bucks.
game.
We had a
But nobody was
7-9
there.
record.
Well,
There was nobody there, though. Remember, that was the
as
COVID
Pete
year.
Sidorn just pointed out. The 7-9 Panthers won a game. They were 6-10. That was a 6-10 football team that won the division and then beat the Arizona Cardinals, led by John Skelton.
So that's what I'm saying, Max. That's just awful. How can
frankly,
Skelton was also in for injuries too.
He was the third string quarterback. Yes,
right.
But what I mean is, if you win the division, you can get in, but you shouldn't automatically be a 2 through 4 seed.
Yeah, great.
Division is automatic. Winning the division should be automatic. Absolutely. Automatic
Timothy's
playoff.
hardcore disagreeing, which means he's got fingers up in everything.
Well, sure, divisions do matter.
Sure.
Absolutely. If you win division, you're automatically in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're not saying don't give them a playoff spot. It's just the seedings. Like, look at the NFC North this year. Why should Green Bay be penalised against someone like the Bucks, who didn't win as many games? We won 12 games and were the 6th seed. It's ridiculous. And then you think, well, it is difficult, because you might have one division that you've got multiple double digit winners. We would have been
3.
3. We would have been 3. Yeah. What did Minnesota get? It would have been it would have been Lions, Minnesota, then us. Yeah, then us. Yeah, 3.
Well, Philly would be somewhere in there. We'd be 4.
Four seed. And
I don't think it would shake things up too much. I think that this year was really well, let's hope it's not, but it was an anomaly in that we had everybody in the NFC getting into the playoffs with over 10 wins. We had 3 or 4 teams with like 12, 14 wins.
Yeah.
So, that's an unusual season. But I don't agree with this notion that we've had we've had teams that are bad that get into the playoffs because they win a shit division, and people go, why is this? I remember Redskins had to stay home one year. We were 10-6, had to stay home. It happens every once in a blue moon. Somebody has to stay home. I think the Patriots had to stay home one year because the goddamn
Brady
Chargers
got hurt.
Brady got hurt, and the Chargers with Norv Turner. Oh, yeah, it was 8-8. We won the division. We got 500 there, just like I always do. And but I'm against that. If you win the division, you're in. Period. And if you win a shitty division, it's not your responsibility that your divisional opponents have to be good.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right. So where did we get onto with that? We were coming from somewhere. That we were talking offensive line, and we got into a good discussion there.
I don't know.
No, we were talking about the rule changes.
You were just talking about the rule changes.
Oh, we were talking about the rules changes? Well, there you go.
And then
It's
what
Friday.
about the overtime
I'm
rule?
enjoying myself. What did they do now? I haven't paid attention to. I haven't
the Eagles
seen that.
proposed to make the regular
Eagles.
season the same as the postseason, where both teams get a possession no matter what happens on the first.
Why don't we all
If they
just show
do
up
that-
and give each other a flower? I love you.
Do that, which I kind of agree with.
Yo.
Because the reason being is
It's too
the
confusing.
NFL is predicated on offense. This is an offensive league. They want offense. They want,
But
it
not.
favors, It favors the offense. 100% does.
But it doesn't work. That's the thing. You can say that they want it to be predicated on offense, but defense controls football, and it always has. It always has.
Oh, not really.
Yes,
Not
it does.
now.
Yes, it does. Oh, sure it
Not-
does.
Doesn't now. No.
Sure it does. Was Philly the number one defense?
Yes.
Sure. All right. I mean, it
but they
does.
still can score points, though.
They can.
They're pretty
And
goddamn good offense, too.
offense has been lit up and wide open. You're right. But the fact of the matter is look how many changes they have made to try to juice the offense. Because every time, like I said, law of football number 1. Offense innovates, defense adapts. Defense always adapts. That's why you see so many rules changes for the offense, because the defense gets to a point where the offense can't do fuck all. So they go, all right, well, you're not allowed to touch the receivers anymore.
I'm going to disagree with that.
Got to look at it through the history
Jesse,
of the game.
look at the 1976 rule changes and then try and tell me that again.
Okay,
We were talking about illegal contact.
we're
That's
not
when
talking about
that's when that came from.
1976. We're
You're right,
fucking in
but you're talking.
2025.
We're talking about rule changes that impacted the defense that let the offense adapt. The offense came about when the shotgun was invented in 1977, because they couldn't mug receivers anymore. That's the whole
That's
thing
the
about
Mel Blount rule, the illegal contact, which
Goddamn,
used to be
think,
called
You think we spent a lot of time together?
the Mel Blount rule. Mel Blount was a cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers when they were on their championship runs. And I'm just going to say this because I'm the old guy and I know my history, and y'all can learn something about this. But it used to be called an illegal chuck. And it was not just a touch. You had to fucking hit the guy, all right? If you were going to if it was illegal contact, the illegal chuck had to be past 5 yards, and he had to fucking give him a shot. Otherwise, they just let him keep going. And once that happened, there's been, like, since 1977, there's been, like, 2 rules changes that have benefited the defense and everything else to try to keep goosing the offense.
I mean,
so you're
that's
right.
why they
The
can't
Eagles can
lower
put
their
up
heads
50
anymore.
points, but they've still got the number 1 defense.
But it's
Okay.
a product as well, so I see where Jesse's coming from
that's
because
the whole
offense
thing.
has got to be explosive.
You have to be.
You're right.
Because otherwise you're smothered.
Your offense and your good teams. Okay, look at the teams that were in the playoffs. They're all top scoring teams in the league.
Yeah.
It's all about the offense, man. So
They want it to
why don't you give the other offense a chance to score too?
Okay. I'm old. I think sudden death was fair.
This ain't 1970.
I
This
do.
ain't
I think-
1976 anymore.
I think sudden death was fair. I think football at its heart is a game of fuck you. I'm going to fucking take this ball and I'm going to ram it down your fucking goal. And that's the game. And if you can't stop it, these people that would tell me that sudden death was decided on a coin toss. No, it's not. Fuck if it is. If you can't stop somebody for one drive, I don't give a fuck. It's not an automatic. You don't just automatically go get a kick.
Especially with the kickoffs now.
Yeah,
Right.
true
The
that.
kickoff rules now, it's like in the what's probably going to change too for if you get a I forget what it was. They're going to put it up to the fucking 35-yard line now. If it's a touchback, that you just one play and you're in fucking field goal range.
We're never going to go back to sudden death. But see, to me, when they took away sudden death, for one, again, history matters. All right, the greatest game ever played. Scotty, do you know what the NFL refers to as the greatest game ever played? You're going to
Great
laugh.
show on turf.
No. The 1958 NFL championship between the Giants and was it the Packers?
No, it was the Giants. It was the
All right.
Colts and the Giants.
Colts and the Giants, and it was an overtime game. It was the first game that they ever had decided by sudden death in a postseason game. You've seen the black and white film of it.
Yeah,
of what
I
happened.
will have done.
All right, but the NFL calls that the greatest game of all time. You got a game like again, it's 1981, but Kellen Winslow against the Dolphins in the playoffs
Double overtime.
blocks in double overtime, blocks 2 field goals to stop them from winning the fucking game, scores a touchdown. I mean, and they had to drag him off the field. So to me, when they changed all that, they just said, none of that counted because,
Yeah, I know.
these people
What's
can't
the
stop it.
percentage of that actually happening?
Most of the
Very,
time,
very low.
most of the
Gotta be
time.
rare.
Well, I mean, doing what Kellen Winslow did, that got him in the Hall of Fame.
It's never happened again.
Right. But
You got to get
the
really,
fact is,
really lucky.
there was a lot of
to, you know,
statistics, and most of the statistics boiled down to most games that were decided in overtime were decided after more than one possession. It wasn't automatic that but that's neither here nor there. All right, now what is it? It's you got to score a touchdown on the first possession, right?
So in the regular season,
And
now,
then
if
after
you
the
score
first-
if you score a touchdown, it's game over.
Well, yeah, obviously.
In
In the
overtime,
playoffs,
in
it
overtime,
is 7-7, and then game continues to sudden death.
Watch, you know what
Or
they're gonna do?
3.
But also, I mean, and then if it's 3-7, game over, second team wins.
Or
But
even
they're- if
3-3, then the next points win.
Right.
Win.
But
Right.
what you're going to see though is because they're going to with that they're going to up it to a 15-minute overtime. You're still going to get ties.
I you know what I would do? Because I think this is what they want. They don't want ties. Don't put a
Nobody
clock
wants
on
ties except for
it. Don't
British
fucking
people.
put a clock on it.
Yeah, but then you're going to get the
Well,
Players Association.
just keep playing.
then you're
I've
gonna get
seen
the-
it. Look,
across the
look
bow of the HMS
in soccer when you just get it was in soccer when you go when you get to a penalty shootout. I've seen my team in a 36
Right.
penalty shootout.
You were like this.
You go through
Scott
the
was-
whole team twice. I was
Okay,
Scott watching this shit.
Think about the playoff scenarios. It's the same thing as the playoff scenario. Do you think
You're right,
they don't fucking keep playing and playing? The game will end. And it
See, the
always
other
does.
thing about
eventually.
that, it will. And, with playoffs,
Playoffs?
Playoffs. I sounded
And
just
we're
like
talking
him
about an
almost there.
extra, 20 plays max? That's not
You
that
know what
big of a
though?
deal.
Here's the thing. That's a lot. The physical damage that a football team or a football game does on the body, if you're a guard or a tackle or a defensive line, it's a lot. And the fact is, in the playoffs, if you go to overtime, man, that's attrition that starts to set in. That's tough because you got. It really
These
matters
fucking
into your
salaries
recovery
are getting
time.
higher and higher. They should fucking suck it up
Right,
and
don't be
fucking,
such a bunch of pampered wussies.
you know?
Right. Scott was like,
fucking A.
"All right, we still watching the
Has-
football."
Hang on. Has there been a double overtime game in the playoffs since 03? That's the last one I remember. That was the
think
the
so.
Panthers and the Rams, and
I don't
Steve Smith
recall.
won that.
I could,
But
maybe I'm forgetting,
Steve
but I
Smith
don't
won that one
recall
on the
anything
first
like
play of
that.
the game, and that was an explosive Panthers team that then went and beat the Eagles 14-3 in the championship. Just had to put that out there.
There you go. That's what you have when you still have a young memory, right?
Hold on a second.
All right. So, what did Burroughs bring up that you wanted to talk about?
Hold on.
How about
Yeah,
receiving
we
based
need
on? What's up, Deluxe? How you doing, man? What about receiving based
Receiving
on record?
Based on record after wild card, divisioners get one home game.
Guaranteed.
Reseeding? I don't know about that.
Yeah, like after the wild card. Yeah, but that's
So you
hard.
still
That's
got
hard.
you still got to put your number one seeds that
The
get
problem
a
with
bye.
that is that wild card weekend starts and ends on different days. So
Right. Well,
teams are going to have less time to prepare for somebody.
Right, but the thing about that, the Deluxe, is that already happens. If you're a 7 seed, you're going to the 1. It's not going to matter if you reseed or not. The way how that
yeah.
it's like that already happens.
All right. What was this? Have you seen the league where they drop the ball from like 30 feet up and a guy from each? Yes.
Yes.
Was the XFL did that one year where they just set
the
it down and everybody had to go get it. I kind of
That was-
liked that.
that
That was
was the
about the
first
only
year
thing
of
they
the
did I
XFL.
liked. Yeah.
But
But
now
I've seen
it's-
it. Yeah, they have this thing where they drop it out of a helicopter or some shit. Yes. And for today's kickoff, Army Unit 4975 from whatever Fort something or other going to fly in here with some big Black Hawk helicopter.
Straight out of Fort Bragg.
Right.
Let's get these starred questions.
now.
All right, you had something about what Burroughs said. There you go.
All right.
Football
So, with the moves we've made, what grade are you giving them? I'm giving them or Burroughs is giving them a solid B plus. We're gonna go to Scott last on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Max, you start us off. What do you got?
Right now, it's probably a B plus. Like I have to agree with Burroughs. They haven't made any splashy moves, but they haven't made
splashy
I
moves to
think the
make.
Tunsil is pretty splashy.
any. Tunsil's the splashy move, but they haven't done anything that's for an for a skill position that's an impactful move. They've made a lot of meat.
Debo is pretty impactful.
Okay, he definitely can be.
Yeah.
Okay,
He definitely can be. Yes,
Sorry.
he can. Yeah. So, well,
what I'm
Continue,
doing though
Max.
is
Continue.
okay. What I'm saying is they haven't made the big, $100 million move. There's only been one of those this entire offseason.
I don't think
And-
they're
Well,
yeah.
going to.
there's been nothing
They
to
can't
make.
really.
That's what
Right
that's what
now.
I'm saying is they haven't made that move, but at the same time there hasn't been the player that deserves that
Yeah.
outside
No.
of
Yeah.
Sam Darnold maybe. But
Seattle's hoping. By the way, I don't know if you realize this or not, but every spring up in Seattle, they have a contest where people raise chipmunks up there, right? And they get these chipmunks out there and they try to see how many fucking nuts these things will stuff in their mouth, and whichever one wins like some kind of prize. And the Seahawks entered Sam Howell, and he got like 73 of them in there. His fucking cheeks were out to here.
All right. Great.
I'd have to
story.
show you a picture of him so you can remember how big and fat his face was. I was looking at him today, and I realized just how much he's starting to look like John Belushi. So
See you, Deluxe. Take care, mate.
See, Bob.
But yeah, I think a B, like a B plus, just somewhere in that range.
all right. What do you got, Jesse?
I'm going to go to A minus, and the reason being is you come into this free agency, you know what what's on the buffet table. It's not much. It's not a whole lot of good stuff going on.
Right.
But Adam Peters comes in and knows what the needs are. What does this team need? It needs to fucking stop the run. 100% needs to stop the run. It needs to protect Jaden Daniels. And it needs another playmaker. They got that.
Check.
Along with a cornerback. And we got better. And that's in a day and age that when Peters came in, this fucking roster was in fucking shambles. How many players did we have on contract?
About the same time.
Coming
last
this year.
This year, it was about the same again. I think we had 26 this year and like 28 last
28.
year.
Only
was-
28 players on an actual contract.
Oh,
So
no.
what
Contracted, we had 40 players if you include the
Coming into
futures
this year?
before this free agency period started. We had 40 on the roster, but we had 28 free agents as well.
So you got we were third in cap space, but you needed to sign. You have a lot of players that you have to sign.
Yeah.
So that money really shrunk. So what they did, they said, "Hey, we need to be able to protect Jaden. Let's instead of going out and signing a tackle that's going to be way over
That wasn't available.
That's not available, but
Right.
what was available, we're going to have to pay him too much money. Let's go ahead and give up a few of our assets, and let's go get the best thing that we can find. And that was Laramie Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in the entire league. Let's go out and give up a 5th-round pick, and let's give Jaden Daniels a weapon, and possibly turn that into a longer contract to see how he does this year. Because Deebo Samuel has we've all seen, he is a playmaker.
He's an all-pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is an absolute playmaker that can play all over the field.
Yeah,
He can do a
all
lot of
kinds
different
You don't know what he's
things.
going to do to you.
Let's go out and get a cornerback that is a wily veteran that's been around a long time and has played really, really good football to put in that room with Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Sanders still. Then you have, our starter from last year, slot starter from last year, Noah I. He's going to be depth. I mean, that cornerback room just got so freaking much better. Hey, we got to stop the run. All right, John Allen, thank you for your service. We appreciate it, but I think we're going to go try to get a little bit younger and try to
We got
save
fatter.
We didn't get younger on the defensive
We got
line.
fatter is what we got.
Well,
Yes.
and Kinlaw. I'm talking about Kinlaw. Kinlaw's
Kinlaw.
definitely younger than John
Yeah.
Allen and cheaper than John Allen. And let's go get these players that are known for stopping the run, like in setting edges, like Martin, like Wise, players that might not be household names,
Right.
but
They're the meat and potatoes guys. There's the
Yeah.
guys in the middle, right?
so all that in turn, it shows me, hey, they know what their weaknesses are, and they're going out and attacking that and trying to get better. Are we done yet? No. Do we still need a couple players? Absolutely. We need an edge rusher. But my opinion is, I think they knocked it out of the park. With it seemed like we had a lot to work with, but we really didn't have a whole lot to work with.
No, you're right. We had a lot of cap space, and the fact of the matter is we didn't have a whole lot of people under contract, and this class is bad. The jump in the cap, the $20 million
Re-signing
plus
Wagner
jump,
and Ertz and all them, that's
big time
awesome.
right there.
Yeah.
But the gigantic jump in the cap, this is 3 years in a row, I think, that it's gone up $20 million or more. So everybody who even wants to keep a player, go, yeah, come on back. So we need a left tackle. Ronnie Staley, off the market. The guy from the Rams, off the market. They just re-sign him, bring him back. So I agree. Laramie Tunsil, to me, is the shining star of this offseason so far because, yeah, he'll make a penalty or two. All right, he'll make a couple of false starts here and there, but he's not gonna hold for one, and he's not gonna get Jaden's clock cleaned. He's not gonna get him freaking. You're not gonna see him turning around yelling, "Throw it, throw it!"
He's gonna pay for it. He might send the clock to the shop.
Well, I'll tell you what, that to me is the move. I like Will Harris. I think what you said about the defensive line is exactly what we're trying to do. We got bigger. We want to eat up a bunch of space. We want Frankie Louvu. We want Wagner. We want Dominique Hampton. We want freaking Will Harris lancing in there, making tackles closer to the line of scrimmage rather than watching these big gaps get opened up in a defensive line where we got more money invested as of last year than need be for what we were getting for it. So, yeah, I agree. I think we still need a pass rusher. My grade for him, I'm going to go ahead and say the same thing, A-, because I don't know what the difference is between a B+ and an A-, but it sounds better. So, yeah, A-. It's not a complete success right now, but I think that's not their fault. I think it's it's the market. It's not very good. They didn't overspend. They didn't go out and overreach for players that were not going to fit what they do. I do said it to me a couple of weeks ago. By the way, Red Zone in the Lab, go subscribe. That Adam Peters has a number. He looks at you and he has a number. And if you don't meet that number, he's going to pass. What do you think of Michael Gallup? I'm sorry. We waited on Scott. Scott's turn.
Before he poo-poos on this, because he's going to.
He's going to poo-poo.
He's going to poo-poo on this.
He's poo-pooing.
I look at the defensive back room from this year to last year. Look at the defensive line from this year to last year. Look at the wide receiver room from this year to last year. It's fucking so much better than it was last year.
It is. Name doesn't mean a whole lot. John Allen was named to us, first round pick, but what we got probably can work better for what we want to do. So, Scott,
all right, have a poo. Go ahead, Scott.
Poo-poo.
Have a poo.
I'm not going to poo-poo it. I just, you kind of convinced me last night, but I don't know what
talking over here.
No, I don't know what fucking Sosner is doing. We spent 60 million worth of cap and we've got chicken shit. Let's be honest here. I don't understand some of the moves that we've made. I would give it a C. We still have a massive need at edge. Get that Frenchman off my. So not interested, right? I would give it a C.
Who would you want at edge?
No, let him talk. Let him talk. It's his turn. He waited patiently.
There's lots of edges I would have took over Kinlaw by a long way. That is a crazy contract. Now, yes, you can get out of it after 2 years, but 45 mil, 30 mil guaranteed. Come on, man. What has he proved in the last 2 years?
Look at John Allen's contract.
Yeah, I know, 60 mil. Who decided to pay that? That's more for Minnesota to pay for paying that.
Though we got Kinlaw on a halfway decent deal for the market.
7.5 mil this year, but Deebo Samuel, yes, I get that. And is he a DT or is he an edge? He's both. He can play
he's a
both
4-3
sides.
defensive tackle. He's a 3-4 defensive end.
There you go. But could we have got better? I think we could have got better than what we've got. Do the players that we've signed work for what we need? Absolutely. Not going to disagree with that. As you said, the players like even the nose tackle we picked up, Eddie Goldman, is it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great pickup. No problem at all with that. Wise, no problem at all with that. This elephant end that they seem to be thinking of, that's how we're going to go with to set the edge and stop the run. Great. Cleveland Farrell even coming back. At least he could set an edge. I'll give him that.
Could he?
He wasn't. Well, not really, but he was. But that was his. Exactly. But that was his best attribute. When he wasn't a proper edge rusher.
That's what his agent told us.
Have we got a real problem at edge? Yeah, I think we do. Have we got better in wide receiver? Have we got better at wide receiver room? Yes. Have we got better at the DB backs room? Absolutely. We got Diet Coke Jeremy Chin in Will Harris, but I think he will be okay.
Better with the run game.
Possibly, and that's what it was. It's the run game, because our linebackers were gassed, trying to stop the run all the time. You're relying on Bobby Wagner. Bringing back the old vet heads, good again. Very, very impressed with that. But for having the third highest cap spend and going, right, well, we're going to pay 60 million. I get it. I get what you're saying.
I get you.
I wanted a few
to be
more,
somebody other than
Kittle. I wanted a few more names, maybe. Maybe it is a name recognition thing. Could we have paid Christian Kirk money?
I wanted a pony.
Could we have got Ojulari for that money? Yes, of course we could. There's two decent players straight away.
I don't think he fits the system.
But if they don't fit...
Christian Kirk was traded before free agency started, I remember.
He was for a seventh. I know that. But on the final day, but they're looking at cutting that. But have we absolutely got better on the offensive line? There's still players out there that we can target. Like Will Hernandez is still out there as a guard. There's lots of different players out there. Maybe they want too much money. What I would say is, where's all these free agents who said, I want to play for Jaden Daniels? I want to play for a contender.
Money talks.
Piss
man.
off.
I mean,
it does.
Look at Myles Garrett.
Look at Holland.
Myles Garrett decided, I'll eat shit for the rest of my career, but thanks for the money.
Look at Holland. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to play for a contender and all this shit on social media. The following day, he signs for the Giants.
I thought he was
Oh, John
going
Hunter.
to fucking start a war with the Dutch here. I mean, this is the international fucking fan of the year. I thought he.
No.
And now that he's in a royal port now. He's like, look at Holland. Fuck those fucking wooden shoe wearing, ice skating motherfuckers.
Fucking weed smoking shule Peters.
Goddamn tulip growing bitches.
keep your hash cakes to yourself. Yeah.
I mean, famous for their
I
hash
think
cakes.
what people like Scotty and some other fans I've seen on social media are not really like taking into consideration. And Peter
Scott.
said it in his press conference is the cash on hand. What they have
I know
to
what
do
you mean
with
by
the
that,
roster
yeah.
that they have. They really couldn't afford to go out and spend for that name itself. Because they had so many spots that they have to fill, they needed to make sure that, hey, we got to fill the roster, okay, and have some money for the draft picks that are coming in, and if we're extending Terry, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be like this for another year or two.
I was going to ask you that.
Because of the fact that the roster was so fucking bad.
Go again, Joe.
When Rivera had it. And Rivera was so bad at drafting that it's going to take time for it to kind of fucking level out some.
So what you can do there is if you have a cash-rich owner, you pay it higher in obviously signing bonus. Now maybe we don't necessarily have that amount of cash, but Harris is worth $8 billion. Come on, man, open your checkbook.
Here's the thing.
I
think they did.
That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about the cash they have in their pockets. It's about allocating the funds to fill the salary cap.
He's got that
Okay, I
much in his pockets. I'm
understand.
going to rob him.
And fill the roster itself. That's the whole thing. They have to be able to fill that roster itself.
So do you think
want
that it's going to be
$100 million contract to somebody? Well, we still have 10 fucking roster spots that we got to fill.
One sec. So do you then say that the next 2 years is going to be like this, where we're getting cheap deal, 1 year deals, because it's going to be hard to keep
It's going to
going?
be better next year, and then next year after that, it's going to be a little bit more better, and then probably like the fourth year, then it's going to kind of level itself out some.
So let's say then, let's just say now then that we've got all these signings work out really well, right? And you've got 5 players that you guaranteed you're going to have to pay next year. So we've got Debo, we've got Laramie Tunsil needs a new deal, we've got Frankie Louvu will need a new deal straight away. That's 3 straight off the bat where you're like, okay, we're going to have to play. Zach Ertz and the likes of Bobby Wagner may not play, or they may go on to another 1 year deal. But that's 3 straight away who you're going to have to commit quite serious money to. Deron Payne's up for a re-deal. There's another one.
You're also basing this
I know
off
that.
of, there's the projected.
If they've had a good season, yeah.
the cap. If the cap goes up, though, that means you have more money to spend.
Yes, it
So-
does. I understand that.
All
but
of this is
are you
fixed with
giving out
strokes of the
hundreds?
pen.
It doesn't
It really
really, because players are asking for more and more money. I don't.
Yeah.
And there's
You
more
know,
and more money to spread around. And I'm
But
going to tell you,
they need a few
within
more drafts to be able to fill out. Have their fill out some core pieces of that roster. They need.
when
a
does
few
the next
more
CBA
drafts.
come up?
Y'all understand?
Max,
what
look that up.
Understand what I'm trying to say?
I do see
Yeah,
what
I
you're
do.
saying.
I do know what you mean.
And what I'm also saying is this: you don't just shop to shop. If there's nothing
Yeah.
out there,
30.
and I think that what they did is they got guys that are going to fit what they're trying to do. And granted, they didn't get the big names. I mean, yes, they did. Laramie Tunsil, one of the best in the league.
Debo
Samuel had very good potential right there. But these other guys, they know what they're able to do, right? They know what they're capable of doing. So that's why they brought him in here. And it's a bad class, If a
It was.
team, I said this a couple of weeks ago, and it's not like I invented this phrase and never thought of it myself. But the fact of the matter is, if a team didn't want a guy, that's why he's out there. Other than that, anybody could have afforded to re-sign anybody except for the Cowboys, because I'm pretty sure Jerry Jones gave away half their cap space on a tip to some guy who delivered him some lemon pepper wings one night.
And what Max said earlier, Peters was on some of these players, probably like with a Ward and a Holland and
DJ Moore or DJ.
Yeah, Reed.
Reed,
But you
yeah.
know what?
Reed.
So you bring me DJ Moore, I'll be happy
He's
as
like,
hell.
listen, I'm not going to pay you more
Very
than this.
happy.
And he's fine with losing players by not overpaying players, and we should be
listening.
fine with that too.
I listened to Coleman. What is his name? What is it? Craig. What's his name?
Hoffman.
Craig Hoffman, thank you. I like Craig Hoffman. He's smart. I was listening to him on Kime the other day, and now because I was trying to think of his name, I forgot what the fuck I was going to say.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this free agency class and thinking to myself, could we have got better? Maybe. I don't know, because we don't know what these players are going to be like. The bit I didn't like about free agency was the Debo contract just a few days ago. You raved about it, Jesse, and we're like, what are you talking about? We're giving him an extra potentially $3 million.
Have a
next
$12
year we don't
million
have to deal with-
fucking dead
No,
cap if he's not gonna
I
be
didn't
on
want
the
that,
team.
and I didn't want that either. You can do two. You could have done it two ways. It was due in 2 days' time. The roster bonus, the 23rd, I think it's due. But you could have just paid the 17 million. Why give the incentive on top of that for
Because what
someone
it's
who's
doing-
never even played it down?
Because
Well,
what it's
we've
doing
seen
is
him play
saying-
downs, not for us.
But what
That's
you're
what I
doing is
mean,
saying,
like-
hey, you're trying to sweeten the deal of if he actually performs well and you have to re-sign him, you want him to actually be in desire
The
to
International Fan of the Year is really, he's
If
fucking
he
feeling
hits-
it.
See, that's what baffles me, Scott, that you don't like this, because if he hits those
I am
incentives,
baffled.
he's going to be worth every fucking penny of it.
I get that. I understand it.
So I'm not sure why you're so upset with the $3 extra million.
Are they all incentivized, or is it just guarantees that we've changed the contract?
It's not
to?
guarantees. It's only going to come off if he hits those. If he hits those, you know.
So it's still 17.5 million. Thanks very much. Anyway,
that's his guarantee right there. $17.5 million.
then
right.
that's what I would have done. But I wouldn't have given him the extra incentives, because you want a player who's hungry and you want a player to earn the contract.
This
and
is
say, you know what, I'm going to earn this
For
contract.
a
I'm going to
player
ball out.
the caliber player of Debo Samuel. Okay, if we get what Debo Samuel is, $17.5 million or $20 million, that's a fucking steal.
I mean,
It's probably $5 million short of what you should be paying.
Can I-
realistically?
can I transition this real quick just because I mentioned this earlier. Another receiver we were talking about is T. Higgins.
Never on the market.
Right, but
Oh,
look
my
what he
God,
did.
real
his
quick,
contract.
did you see about his contract, the thing I sent you guys
Yeah.
about today?
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see that.
Okay. His contract is a 4-year, however many $1 million deal, but it's essentially 1 year with 3-year team options. So,
This is the new. When you talk long-term deal now, it's only 3 years.
What I mean is,
fucking shit.
so he has this year
Brown.
guaranteed at 20 mil. Next year, the Bengals can release him up till 5 days after the league year starts. No money due, no dead cap. The same thing the next year, and then his 4th year, if he's still there, the contract is guaranteed then.
Was it Paul Brown? He's a fucking shyster.
Mike Brown, but yes.
Or Mike,
His
yeah,
kid.
Mike Brown. He's
The worst owner in the league.
Now he is. Well, David Tepper. Well, David Tepper's building a team at least.
But
David Tepper's
that was hideous when I read that.
So that's how that must be how then finagling the cap then to keep the players there. It's got to be
Well, I
something,
mean,
Max.
well, how
'Cause
much of
essentially it's just a 20 million deal, isn't it?
for 1 year, yes, but
Yeah.
at the same time, with what Chase and Burrow and now Higgins are making, that's over 25% of the cap in 3 players. The Bengals
Yeah.
are going to be losing games 50-49.
Yeah,
It's possible.
because they don't have no
I mean,
defense.
they might be calling me here soon to go play defensive end. Like,
Yeah, but do you think Trey Hendrickson goes, or do you think that's a draft day night decision?
They might. They might try to do something because they by doing the Higgins thing the way they did it, they freed up a little bit of money this year. They might try to just try to string him along, but right
see,
now
the problem
I don't think
is
anybody's
that's all they got
really
on
knocking
defense,
hard.
though.
They're
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
too much.
All
they
they
have
got.
nothing.
Yeah,
They have a new defensive coordinator coming in and looking at it, being like, "I had a better
Yeah,
defense at Notre Dame."
Yeah, I mean, you can't get much better as far as a defensive coach than Lou Amarillo. He's a great defensive coach. Where did he go? Who did he get picked up by?
I didn't think he got picked up by anybody.
I thought he went to Tennessee, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to the Titans, I think.
Colts, DC.
Oh, okay,
Colts.
I think he stopped in Tennessee.
He's
He bought
a
some-
really
some
good
moonshine.
coach, and if he can't do nothing with that defense, nobody's going to be able to do nothing with that fucking shit defense.
He took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
The Bengals haven't been to the Super Bowl since Tim Krumrie's leg snapped in half. So,
Sam Crumrye.
Tim Krumrie.
Tim Crumrye. Yeah, I
Used
remember
to
that.
do
That was
icky
nasty. It
shuffle
was
back in
flopping
the
around
day.
it was flopping around all over the place. All right, I got a game. Oh, but by the way, before we get to the game, Michael Gallup, how are we feeling about that?
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
good
see.
with it.
As a wide receiver 4/5, I'm not bothered
He's a
about it.
De'Ami Brown replacement. That's what he
I
is.
mean, let's go up to deluxe again. What he said? Would you rather?
kinda like
have-
it.
Gallup, Noah Brown, and Osborne for $7 million or Diami for $10 million.
That's a great
is
point.
A real question.
It's a great point. Deluxe, who's listening later, great point.
Now that is an enormous overpay.
Diami for 10 million.
Yeah.
Diami, that's ridiculous.
And then then they're putting out tweets like, "Oh, we got a stud."
Yeah.
What? I mean, I like
I
the
saw
guy.
someone say he had
I
a
wanted to
elite-
buy him too, but
I saw someone say he had elite ball carrier vision, and I was like, "Off of what?"
Now,
really.
I did say that. I did say this yesterday. I was sitting there watching Commander's log, and it was Diami Brown in the playoffs, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah,
and my
he
wife's like, and he was on the big TV, and my wife's like, "Oh, so that's the Diami Brown I was getting." I was like, "Nah, nah."
You might.
Go-
Go
back.
like a game
Go
here,
back.
a game there.
I was willing to gamble on him. I was not willing to gamble 10
Not
million.
10 million.
I would have given him 5.5, 6 tops. That would have been that.
me.
But not 10.
Not me.
No.
Right out the door. So
You know,
and
and
I
Gallup-
kind of like Michael Gallup.
I
honestly.
like Gallup. I like how I listened to his
Yeah, I
Zoom,
listened to it too.
media interview. I like what he said, and he had
That's a good point, Pete.
he had a hard time in transitioning to the Raiders. I mean, who doesn't have a hard time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
getting the
I mean,
Raiders over-
he said I didn't have it in my heart. Well, I guess not. You got over there and you looked, and there was Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. I ain't feeling this.
I appreciate
he went
him.
from
I
back to
appreciate
Aiden
him.
And then you go up and you talk to the owner and you look at that fucking mongoloid they've got up there.
with his backpack up to here. Like,
Haircut.
He's up
So-
there. You gotta talk to me about Mr. Gallup?
Now there's a man who needs a trip to Turkey for a hair
Oh my
transplant.
God, dude! No, he doesn't. You know what he did? He hired Tom Brady to stand next to him. That's what he did.
True.
He said, "Come on, be part of the ownership. Get me some chicks."
I think Gallup will play a role. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's just the Martavis Bryant." I don't think so. I think he's going
Now,
to.
Martavis Bryant had a lot of problems.
I think he's
He
going
was
to
a head
actually
case.
make this team. And
I think he makes the team. I think he's wide receiver
do
5,
too.
Jesse, and I think we pick up a receiver in the draft, and that's the receiver room kind of sorted. Six to 7 receivers is where we are. I think this move does mean though that Jamison Crowder's probably not coming back, which is a bit of a shame. But
Who's
it's
your punt
vet minimum.
return? Who's your punt return?
Well, I think it might have to be Luke McCaffrey at the minute.
or a running back.
Kaz Allen, maybe.
Austin Eckler.
we keep hearing that.
I think
Eckler,
that's still
yeah.
kind of up in the air. I don't know
3
about
games will
drafting.
happen.
I don't know about drafting a wide receiver.
I think
Look,
you do.
I
in the
kind of
fourth.
like Michael Gallup. In all honesty, he took a year off. He's healthy again. As long as he's in shape, he's only 29. The dude has been a solid number 2. And for me, that's important because, it doesn't happen very often.
Better than
But-
being a loose number 2.
That's right. But
You stole my joke.
Marvin a poo.
boom, I grabbed it. Look, no, I'm dead serious. Granted, our team is not a good barometer for anybody to be able to look at, but he's shown us, he's beaten us pretty good. And I think that he's a decent number 2. If we're looking for a good player to take with solid hands, and this is where I have my problem with Noah Brown, to take some heat off of Terry and play that number 2 wide receiver, Michael Gallup, step on up, man. I think it's
So I
there
think-
for him to take the job.
I think it's got better when you look at it wide receivers now. I mean, look, you're going to go Terry, Debo, then you've got Luke McCaffrey, you've got Noah Brown, you've got Michael Gallup. That's a good 5.
That's a pretty decent. That's a pretty decent wide
straight
receiver
away.
room right there.
We can
And
go
then
into
you've
the
still
season with
got you still got KJ Osborne's hit and miss. Kaz Allen, don't know. So that's why there needs to probably be a draft pick somewhere along the line to say
Kaz
you
Allen.
can come in, and that's
Kaz
it.
Allen must be able to run at like 80 miles an hour. He must be like a cheetah for them to still be holding on to this dude.
Yeah,
Fuck you, Twiz.
Oh, it's Twiz. What's up, dude? The AARP comment. Yeah. All right. Well, you're right. They did. They got older on the defensive line.
He's still in his 20s though.
And look,
Gallup is still. In
we
his
talked
20s.
about this an hour ago. Mister, if you want to come in here and give us a bunch of shit, you better come in here on time when we're talking about it. Good to see you, Fred. Good to see you. All right, so we're getting ready to play a game here before we close out the show. I got to go ahead over here and get it, and we got to get some music for this. So what are we going to play? We're going to play.
You tell us. Come
I don't
on.
know. I'm looking for something to work with here.
Jesse, Maryland's opened it up a little bit.
That's good. Let's go.
Here we go.
Check the score lately.
All right. And we're going to play, let's see, did he win a
boy.
Super Bowl? We're going to play Did He Win a Super Bowl?
Get Twizz's comment off the screen somewhat.
Wait, Twiz. What's up, Twiz? Did he win a Super Bowl? All right, so everybody at home, you can play along, get your buzzers ready. Everybody, if you don't win any prizes today, we will give you a home version of this, the Bleeding Burgundy podcast.
Get my
which
notebook.
Absolutely will. We will not. All right, so did he win a Super Bowl? Let's start off right here. London Fletcher.
Yes.
Scotty, what do you say?
No.
All right, Max, I can't see that.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Yes, he did. When he was a rookie, he was the middle linebacker for the St. Louis Rams, which is another reason
of
why he
course he
should
was.
be in the Hall of Fame, because, you know, if you're going to every attribute that you require for the Hall of Fame, he has it. Starting middle linebacker for a number 4 ranked defense in the Super Bowl, winner. Look, put him in the Hall of Fame. Don't be fucking around anymore. All right, next, let's go with Tyrod Taylor. Did he ever win a Super Bowl? Tyrod Taylor.
Can I get my answer?
We'll start at the bottom. Max, go ahead. You buzzed in first.
Yes.
Yes.
2012.
Scotty, what do you say?
Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, stop it.
Oh shit, he was back there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yes,
he
he
was
did.
backup.
I knew
Backup.
he played with the Ravens. I just
He was
did not even know
backup
he was
to
on
Flacco,
the-
wasn't he?
He was
on the
Flacco's
fucking-
backup.
That Super Bowl team.
That's right.
Sorry.
Super Bowl X Flapples, whatever it was there. All right, so we'll go to another one. Let's see here. Well, let's see what former Washington Redskin and gay magazine model Devin Thomas, and I'm not joking.
See,
So-
he went didn't he go to the Vikings after?
Did he win a Super Bowl?
Wide receiver Devin Thomas.
Scott doesn't know who this is.
Where the fuck did he go after us?
No.
This is just before Scott's time. All right,
Yes.
It might be
Did he go to the
2000. Was he?
Vikings?
Was he about
Draft
10? Was he?
2008.
He was about
went to
2008.
the Giants.
The Giants.
Did he?
Okay. Yeah. Then he
Yeah, he would've
he
done.
did. He won.
He would've won it.
in Super Bowl fluke. He won
Yeah.
with the Giants.
Super Bowl.
By the way,
fluke.
that brings me to something that's very important that I want to say, because I know a lot of our listeners and viewers out there are from outside of the United States. And look, man, there's a lot of weird shit going on in this country right now. There's people that say things that just are absolutely appalling. And
we go.
I'm sure that I'm serious, man. From the outside looking in, you're probably wondering just where our head's at. And look, some of us realize Eli Manning should not be anywhere near the fucking Hall of Fame. But there's a lot of people that are completely out of their fucking minds that think that he should. So, all right, he should. Moving along. Okay, this one I found. Now this is from a long time ago. You ever have something happen where, all right, here, we'll start with this one. Mark Sanchez. Did he win a Super Bowl? Mark Sanchez.
All right. So
No,
was
he
on
can't. He can't have
Jets. Then
Bills.
did
Was he
go
at
to
the Bills?
Rams, or did he go? Was it L.A.?
Was he? Oh,
He went to a West Coast
he,
team.
no, I don't think. Hang on. I don't know. He's not a Super Bowl winner. No, I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
Where
Max,
would he
what do
have
you
won
say?
it? It's no, but Jesse, where would he have won it?
Where
It's
would
not
he-
just no. It is fuck no.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez's stupid ass never won a Super Bowl.
I mean,
I was
know he
thinking-
went
I was
to- he
thinking-
went
I was
to
thinking the
AFC He went to the
Broncos.
AFC Championship twice.
He did.
Yeah, and
the
he
Jets.
lost both of them.
But I was thinking about him being a backup.
Backup
where he
in
was
the
a
Broncos,
backup at.
maybe. I don't know, but
he never went to Denver.
He went to the West
Mark
Coast. didn't he?
Sanchez?
He went to one of the West.
Sanchez was never in Denver, was he?
I think he was.
He was in
don't think
Philadelphia.
That's right. He was in Philly.
Yeah, he was, and then
He
go to the
started
Rams?
meaningful games in Philly.
he did.
Do you know? I'm gonna look at that now because I'm pretty certain he did play for the Broncos.
All right, you go right ahead and look at that. He's threatened you, Max. I'm going to look at that.
That's fine.
He's going to make a list. All right, let's
thought he
go.
went to-
We're moving along. We're going to go to Graham Gano. Did Graham Gano ever win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
I think he was
Win
kicking
one?
for the Giants.
Giants. Yeah.
That was that not Lawrence Tynes?
You might be right.
Denver
he
Broncos,
it was-
2016.
It
Oh, there you
was,
go. Scott wins the. Dude, this is what happens
Carolina,
when you fucking become
us,
a part of a
Giants.
world
He was
force.
cut, but in the off season. Come on,
All right.
he was never there for the regular season.
He's ready to fight. All right,
He was a free agent. That was
Sanchez.
roster
Was he-
cuts. Good lord. Scott, that's like saying, Jesse, what was the safety we picked up from the Steelers? Sean Davis. That's like saying Sean Davis was a Washington Redskin.
Okay.
So did Graham Gano ever win a Super Bowl?
I don't think he did because
No.
I think the only
No.
three teams he ever
No, I
played for
can't
was
say.
us,
The Giants
the
and
Giants,
the
and
Panthers.
Carolina.
He only played in the Panthers.
Yeah.
He lost.
Oh, so he went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
He lost in the appropriately named for the Panthers Super Bowl L. All right,
The wrong Super Bowl, yeah.
Now, this is interesting. I found this, and this guy's career did stretch into the Super Bowl era, so I'm going to ask it. You might not remember who he was, but you ever have one of those things where you find something in a book or something, somebody's got your name?
What?
Yeah, like, okay, one time I'm watching the TV show, right? And
Like
this guy,
Taman.
like John Taman's name comes up on
There's
TV,
a
but they're not.
Jesse L. Martin. That's a actor. I
There
see
you
all
go.
the time.
All right, so I found this. Did he ever play in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he won one. not for the Lions, he didn't know.
All right, so our good friend Andy Lockhart, center for the
Starting
Lions.
centre, yeah.
He was starting for the
Liverpool Academy
Cubby
for
Bears,
boys.
the gay Cubby Bear League, flag football league.
The Liverpool Academy for Wayward Boys. The
That's it,
Reform
Wayward
Academy.
Boys, yeah. Reform
Yeah,
Academy,
Wayward
that's it, yeah.
All right, well,
Nasty rugby team, that one, I tell you.
There you go.
You got the other ones?
This was the no helmet era. You can tell. Yeah, I got some more. All right, so
Didn't need
how
one.
about Vernon Davis? Did he ever win a Super Bowl?
Let's see. He was on with us with the 49ers.
Yeah, man.
And then he go
Did he go to Denver?
Broncos?
He was in
Broncos?
Denver. I don't know if the timing
Yeah.
line. Yes, he did. He was on that
He
team.
must have done on that team with Denver.
Yeah, he won with Peyton.
Peyton Manning, yeah.
Did he? Because I didn't see that, but I'm going to go ahead and say no, he didn't. But if you can prove it to me,
When did he go to Denver?
That's
Yeah, he's a
Was
Super Bowl
Vernon
champion,
Davis-
50. Super Bowl 50.
okay, well
on
then
the
I'm
Super Bowl
wrong.
winning Broncos.
I am wrong. All right, I got one more. Mark Brunell.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
has to be, yeah.
the Saints.
Yeah.
That's true.
Saints
He was
with
the Saints.
backup.
He was with the Saints.
There you go.
That's right.
Isn't he
Then
broke?
he also went to. Didn't he go to Super Bowl with the Jags?
No, Jags have
They never
played
got it
one.
there. Or
He
No,
went
they
to
got
the
to the
championship
championship.
after he beat
Oh,
Championship
Elway.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jags have never got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. His daughter's she's cute.
Is he still the Lions quarterback coach, or did Johnson
Yes.
take him with him?
Have you subscribed?
Have I subscribed?
Jesus
No. Oh, dude, Scott, you don't even want to know. You probably don't even remember a guy named Bernie Kosar, do you?
No.
All right, Bernie Kosar was the quarterback for the Browns. He's the guy. He's the closest any of them ever got to a Super Bowl was with him. And his daughter was a frickin' porn star, and we found out about it and made fun of. Oh my God, that was so funny. Oh, Jesse, go look up Lexi Silver.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah.
And it's Jesse's been pulling the head off that for years.
Jesse's like, yeah, fuck you, Bernie, fuck you, Bernie, fuck you, Bernie, fuck you, Bernie. Yeah, Bernie Kosar was a good favorite of ours because Bernie Kosar would get on Brown's preseason games drunk and do the play-by-play. He was loaded.
He was the color announcer.
Right. Let me tell you something about that. The Browns are out there playing, and that really hurts my feelings. All right. So, what are we expecting now? We've got the draft when? April, what?
The
4
end of
weeks.
April.
4.5 weeks away.
And you are going to the draft.
I am indeed, yeah.
And how are you going to get there? Have you figured out your itinerary yet?
Yeah. So I don't know the itinerary, but I know my flights. So
The
it's
ship
not
is probably
too
even
bad.
soon, isn't it? You probably got to get on there.
Ship.
yeah, exactly.
He's got a seat with an oar on it.
Fucking tugboat.
Carrying
No,
away at the dock. Bye.
Out of the Royal Port of Barrow.
Out of the Royal Port. I love it.
No,
Barrow.
I think I leave Manchester like 12:30 my time. I arrive into Atlanta at about 4:00 in the afternoon. I have a 5-hour layover.
Oh man,
Atlanta.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's
And
a
then-
big airport.
It is.
I know.
It's a weird airport.
It's a
5
big
hours.
airport.
You can walk around it twice.
And then
Well, you got a train in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then after that, I've got obviously a flight from there to Green Bay. I get into Green Bay at 11 at night, your time. So by the time bags and everything collected, it's probably midnight by the time I'm leaving the airport.
Well, Green Bay's an hour behind here, so
yeah. And
God,
then on the
That's
way,
the day before the draft.
no, Tuesday. That's the Tuesday.
Good, because you're gonna have to sleep a day.
Jesse, what's wrong?
No, it's fucking mock drafts. I fucking want to punch people in the face. Where did I go
okay.
wrong?
And then-
How is this?
And then
I mean,
on the way back, I've got two. On the way back, I've got 2 stops. So I go from Green Bay to Minnesota, and then from Minnesota to Amsterdam, and then Amsterdam back to Manchester.
There you go. Where
just
you
think
were
you're going to
reading
go
as
this
they're coming
way
here.
to get across the pond.
Yes, mad, isn't it?
Okay. Weird.
I was looking at flights recently. I've got a thing coming up in July to go to Tennessee, and it was wanting to send me to St. Louis.
Well, I know this isn't.
But I think the two big hubs, aren't they? The 2 biggest hubs in the US for international flights is O'Hare and Atlanta. I think that's off this coast anyway.
Yes.
Off the East Coast. So I'm not surprised that that's where I'd end up, but it is what it is. So
That's all right. I mean, what are you gonna do when you're sitting at an airport anyway? We could do a podcast.
not sure.
I mean, JFK too, but
Come on.
hey, you flew to JFK.
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been at J.
Yeah, JFK is, but it's not. It is a hub, but it's not like.
When I came back from Italy, they said, "All right, we're going to take you in by Paris." Paris is
Charles de Gaulle.
40 miles that way. Yeah, I was at Charles de Gaulle. I saw this
it's
thing
a
way in the
long way.
background sticking up. I said, "I think that might be the Eiffel Tower over there." So
It's a long way out. It's like saying Luton is in London. No, it's not. It's about a 2-hour drive.
We agree with you, Scott.
I was just
Yeah.
saying Luton is in London the other day, and somebody corrected me.
No,
So,
but it
fucking out of your
isn't.
mind.
It isn't close at all. It's a long way, and so is Gatwick. Gatwick's not a London airport, so there you go.
What are your biggest?
Biggest needs:
Look, we really have invested in the O-line.
edge.
I mean,
edge, and edge.
the Tunsil pickup, Herbert
Shifts the whole
pickup.
line.
Yeah, it shifts the whole line, putting Coleman on the other side. Yeah, our line's going to be a lot better. A lot better. But edge is definitely 100% our top need. We need a pass rusher. I think we need a little bit more help at running back. I expect to draft a running back pretty high this draft. Tunsil's probably top 2 or 3 offensive tackles in the entire league.
Can I
We'll take a
Just
couple
point-
flags. That's fine.
point something out on here on Twiz? He's saying flag Tunsil. He got 19 penalties last year, which is a lot of penalties. But when you look at it, 12 of them penalties were in the first 6 games.
Right, when they're doing we're all going to pay attention we're going to do
Correct.
our little points of emphasis. And frankly, 1,041 snaps. Yes, he got 19 penalties. But on 1,041 snaps, he's one of the best left tackles in the league. I'll take the occasional false start. I will. It's a trade-off. I'll take
You know who the best quarterback in the league was from 3rd 10+? Jaden fucking Daniels.
it. There you go.
I wonder how Jalen Hurts is going to perform when he can't have the tush push. That's going to be interesting.
Whether his performance suffers or not, I don't know that that's going to make any difference.
He's
because
the touchdowns will.
I get from Jalen that he doesn't mind whether he's getting pushed in the tush or he's doing the tush and pushing. I think he likes it both ways. And if he could find himself in a daisy chain, he'd be fucking happy.
In a Deshaun Watson style.
That's right. I think when he gets down on the bottom of that pile, he starts fucking acting like a goddamn cow underneath, or a little calf underneath the cow. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Twiz, you're going to make me say things that they're going to make me regret. Jalen can sneak it in, probably. Scotty knows a little bit about that.
I do. Well, I told you, mate. It's 6 inches, but it smells like a foot. So you know.
That's what you get. Damn it, how have I never heard that? That was terrific. Oh, he said, that's right. They got Dillon.
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon for short yardage. You know the best short yardage he can run? Between the trainer's room and the fucking and the sideline. The dude's wherever he is. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. I don't know when we're going to see you next. Probably we didn't know when we were going to see you next last time until
Let's
Jesse
do a
said,
post. Let's do a
podcast.
pre-draft one.
Pre-draft will
one.
probably
2
get
weeks.
Ken
2
Johansson
weeks.
on.
"Yeah, we'll have Ken. Let's get Ken on here in about 2 weeks, and then we'll have a pre-draft. Yeah, because I definitely want to have a top 10 things for Scott to do when he's in
Yes.
Green Bay. And we signed a retired guy. That's okay. We don't mind signing
Michael
a retired
Gallup,
guy.
who's 29.
Right, he's 29 years old. Dude,
Sidney Charles
if you were
is
a wide
back in the
receiver that
NFL.
found yourself in Las Vegas last year, you would have retired too.
Sadiq
said,
Charles is
"Fuck all
back in
this."
the NFL at 25 years old after he retired. So,
Yep. Sadiq Charles found out that playing video games all day ain't all that. It's just not
exactly.
all that. And maybe that, I didn't really make all that much money in my career. This stuff goes pretty fast. So I better get back in there. All right. We're on out of here, and we will see you all when we see you all next time. Peace.
Holy